a horrible anguish that will plague him forever. The ancient Greeks called this a blood guilt.
In antiquity, a blood guilt was understood to be a kind of curse that clung to you from the blood of the person whose murder you were involved in.
This is a little bit like a kind of Christian penance, where you do certain good acts on the earth in order to make up for bad things that you might have done.
From here on, he's going to have to try to get rid of this stain of blood guilt from this horrible act. This is the very pivot of Hercules' whole life.
To purify his soul, Hercules will have to survive the most excruciating series of challenges ever confronted by man or the gods. It is a journey that will take him across the Greek world and beyond, and leave a trail of real evidence that sheds new light on the truth behind the myth. Mythology superhero Hercules has just butchered his wife and children under a spell cast by his stepmother, Hera. Now, the strongest man on earth must atone for his crime. But he is lost, disoriented. For guidance, he seeks out ancient Greece's greatest prophetess.
Hercules' crime is so great that only one, the most powerful religious authority of his time, could help him solve it, and that's the Oracle of Delphi.
Delphi. Its sacred temple plays a key part in many Greek myths. But it's not just a mythical place. Ruins of the Oracle Temple can still be found in the mountains of central Greece. 2,500 years ago, a priestess stood here in a trance-like state as mysterious vapors rose up around her. She spoke in riddles and supposedly channeled the word of the gods.
It was a direct phone line up to heaven to ask the answer to anything you wanted.
A new discovery may reveal where the oracle's powers originated. A recent geological survey has shown that the Delphi Temple sits precisely on the intersection of two fault lines. This may explain the magical vapors that surrounded the prophetess.
The new evidence suggests that movements of the Earth around these faults might actually have released ethylene gas that would have leaked through these cracks in the Earth. People who breathe a lot of ethylene will fall into a trance that sounds almost exactly like what the Oracle at Delphi experienced. So basically, the Oracle at Delphi was a stoner that everyone in ancient Greek society trusted a lot.
At Delphi, the oracle tells Hercules that only a terrible penance can absolve him of his crimes. To receive that penance, he must go to his cousin and arch-rival, King Eurystheus. But it's a trick. Hera is using the oracle and King Eurystheus to crush Hercules.
Hera will pursue him with everything she has. Hera will be his implacable enemy. And the dangers, the enemies she will put in his way will not cease.
Eurystheus assigns Hercules 12 challenges, all designed by Hera. They will forever be known as the labors of Hercules. In them, the hero is challenged to rid the Greek world of its greatest evils, to confront its most savage beasts, forces of nature, evil tyrants, and monsters. No man could be expected to survive even one of these challenges. But Hercules must overcome 12.
These labors serve a function. Their primary function is to remove the pollution from having killed his family.
He will need to purify himself, to purify his hands, to purify his soul later on of the grievous crime he has committed.
It seems a little unfair to us because the acts that he's doing penance for weren't really his fault. He was under the influence of the madness sent to him by his stepmother, Hera. In the Greek mind, it didn't really matter that it wasn't his fault. He still needed to perform these acts to wash away the stain of these violent acts that he committed.
The quest for redemption begins with the first labor, to kill a savage beast that symbolizes mankind's animal instincts, the lion of Nemea.
The problem for Hercules is even though he's a magnificent archer, the lion's skin is impervious to his arrows. So it's only through brute strength that he manages to overcome the lion. And when he does, he skins the lion and he adopts it as his own armor that he begins wearing. So from then on, Hercules is always depicted wearing the lion's skin, which protects him from harm.
King Eurystheus is stunned. He thought Hercules' first labor would be his last. Now he lays out a series of even more monstrous challenges, sure to put an end to the hero. A theme becomes evident in these early labors. It's man versus nature.
The ancient Greeks viewed nature as a scary place. They wanted to live in harmony with it. But nature was a bitch that if you didn't watch would kill you. And that was their view. They did not have a romantic view of nature.
There are a few great heroes, Hercules is prominent among them, who can tame nature, who can actually bring it under control. And this is the mark of a truly great hero, to bring this unstoppable force to heed.
The second labor challenges Hercules to kill another monstrous freak of nature. The dreaded nine-headed Hydra, a poison-spitting serpent that devours men in one bite. Hercules draws his sword and attacks. He slices through one of the Hydra's necks. Then another, decapitating the monster one head at a time. But as soon as each head is cut off, two more grow in its place. This represents the human lust for pleasure, which the Greeks believed to be unkillable.
The more you attack it, the more you cut its heads off, the more heads you have to deal with.
Hercules needs a new strategy. Against this enemy, his success hinges on more than muscle. Hercules grabs a torch and scorches the skin of the beast.
He comes up with the idea of burning off the stumps to cauterize the neck so that a head can't grow back in there.
With a final thrust, Hercules severs the last head from the body. It is a stunning triumph of man over monster.
So after he's slain the Hydra, Hercules dips his arrows into the blood of the Hydra, and from then on he has poison arrows. Our word toxic, meaning poisonous, comes from the Greek word toxon, which is a bow that you fire arrows with. And so toxikos in Greek simply means relating to the bow. So it's a strange word in English because it preserves the legend of Hercules inside the word.
Two labors conquered. Like a fighter in training, Hercules is honing the skills necessary to survive in a hostile world. Physical strength, mental toughness, and relentless endurance.
In these labors, Hercules is overcoming evil, and he comes as an avenger and a bringer of justice.
In his next two labors, Hercules conquers another pair of nature's most formidable beasts. The golden stag of Artemis, an animal so fast it could outrun an arrow in flight. And a vicious man-eating boar, a monster Hercules manages to capture alive.
Eurystheus, who set him these tasks, never expected any of them to be accomplished. So we start to see Hercules as the prototypical superhuman. He seems unstoppable at this point.
To break the hero's momentum, King Eurystheus tries changing tactics. He introduces